Hello, 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 and good morning. Thank you for joining me for this very short training session, which is of course part of my Algorithm Buster workshop that is next Tuesday online. If you'd like more information about that, you can follow the link, which I'll also post under the video when we finish recording today. And as part of that workshop, we're going to look at Facebook ads. We're going to look at the Facebook pixel. But today I just thought we'd look at simple ways that you can create Facebook ads that work. And we're going to look at the biggest thing that business owners do wrong when they run Facebook ads. Thank you for joining me. Let's have a look at that now. So, what is that big problem? What is that big thing that Facebook business owners do wrong when they run Facebook ads? Well, they target a cold audience. That's the biggest problem. And it's very easy to do. It's something I used to do because we know when we go onto Facebook, there's lots of options within our advertising that show us lots of information about people. So we can get down in the nitty gritty. We can target exactly the right people with the right interests with our ads. But the problem is if we target those people with a sales ad, we're not going to get results. And the reason we're not going to get results is because they don't know us. And why would they buy from us if they've never heard from us before? Can they trust us? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. So I'm going to introduce you to two types of audiences that are warm. Two warm audiences that you can target with your ads on Facebook that should get you better results than just that audience targeting options. And the first one of those is a video views audience. And this is my favorite type because I know if I go and work with a client and they haven't got the pixel installed on their website yet, if they haven't got any website audience, if they haven't got any mailing list, where do we start? And I love it. If they've got a video, we can put it out there. We can advertise it for a few pence, just a couple of euros to get some views on that video. And we can retarget the people who've watched that video. But is that worth it? I mean, people don't really watch much video on Facebook, do they? Do they? Well, according to a study that Nielsen did with Facebook, in fairness, so slightly biased, they did a study to see, do people remember your brand after they watched a video? Do people remember the ad that you put out there? Do they remember the message that you put out there when they watch some of your video? And the results were really interesting because according to that study, even after a 3-second video view, people would have a higher ad recall and they'd have a higher brand awareness of you once you'd put that ad out there. So the important thing is, if you're putting an ad together, to make sure that it is branded, to make sure people can see the brand. So it might be your face, which in many cases, it's my face. It might be your brand colors. But when you put it out there, make sure you've got it. So within that first 3 seconds, people will remember you. But of course, when you're creating an audience, the longer they watch, the better. So let's switch over to Ads Manager and I'll show you how you can create an audience of video viewers. So I've gone into my Ads Manager. For privacy reasons, I couldn't show you before this point, but this is my dormant account, so I haven't created any ads for this yet. And let me just get that up on my screen so I can see it. To get there, within your Facebook account, within your regular account, you'll have your name there. You'll have a little arrow with a drop-down menu, and you want to go in there and either click on Manage Ads or Create Ads. And when you get into that, this little, what we call a hamburger menu at the top, if you click on that, all tools, you'll see audiences here. And once you click on that interface, you get into where you can create custom audiences. And a video views audience is a custom audience. And remember, this is creating an audience of people who are already interested, already aware of your brand. We'll talk about how to get people to watch your videos and the videos you should create in part 1 of the Algorithm Buster workshop. So if I click on create a custom audience here, the one I'm looking for is engagement. And if I go into Facebook page here, I've clicked the wrong thing. There you go. We are live. If I click into custom audience, you'd think I didn't It's engagement that I'm looking for. And we're looking for video, obviously, right? Video. So firstly, you can choose a content type and you can create an audience of people who watch your video for 3 seconds, 10 seconds, 25%, 50%, 75%, or 95% of your video. And I generally create a number of these videos because obviously the longer they watch, the more likely they are, or the warmer an audience they are. But we'll go for 3 seconds now. And then you get to choose your videos, and you can choose more than one video. So let me just go to my page here. And it's just taking a little while to load. Now you can select as many videos as you want from here, but here's the one from last week, the algorithm busting video I did from last week. So I can choose that video. And then in the past, now 365 days is a long time. So somebody who watched your video a year ago probably isn't going to remember you very much, particularly if they only watched 3 seconds of your video. Now, this video I only created last week, so let's make it 30 days anyway. Within 30 days, if they watched a bit of the video, they're likely to remember. And then you can give it a name. So I would say 3-second video audience. And you can give it a description as well if you want to add a bit more information. If you're going to create a lot of these audiences, it really helps. And then you just click create audience, and it will take a little while to populate it, but it will come back with the number of people that watched it. Now, obviously, if that's only like 50 people, that's still not a really good audience to target. The larger your audience size, the better. So you may want to spend a bit of your budget boosting your video posts in the newsfeed. And again, that's something we'll talk about on the full workshop. So that's the first sort of audience that you want to create. The second sort of quick audience, quick warm audience you can create is a Facebook engagement audience. And let me just switch so you can see my PowerPoint because I made this beautiful slide for you. And a Facebook engagement audience targets, you can target all the people who've engaged with your Facebook page at all. So that includes likes and comments and clicks and anyone that's engaged with your Facebook post at all. At the moment, you can't narrow that down like you can with your video audience on a post by post basis, but it is a really strong audience to target. So let me show you how you create that in Ads Manager as well. And let me show myself that. Okay, so again, we click on create a custom audience, and this time we'll go where I went the first time, where I wasn't supposed to go the first time. We go into engagement and we go into Facebook page. And you can see here I can target everyone who's engaged with my page in the last 365 days. I can narrow that down by people who visited, engaged with a post, any post or ad. Again, I can't narrow that down to a specific one at the moment. People who saved your page, people who sent a message to your page, people who clicked the call to action button. And the same as with your video audience, you don't want to target people for the last year because that means you're going to be targeting people who don't really remember you. You want to be targeting people who know who you are because, again, they're more likely to buy or they're more likely to click on a link. So, again, I'm going to go for 30 days. If you follow what I'm showing you in part 1 of the Algorithm Buster workshop, you should be able to get a decent sized group of people out of that as well. So that's it. I would give it the name. I would call that Facebook Engage 30 Days. And I would click Create Audience. Again, it takes a little while to populate. So if you've created these audiences, and you find that people, they're very, very small. So you may have only, say, 50 people who've watched a video for 10 seconds or 3 seconds. You may only have 50 people or 100 people or 150 people who've engaged with your page in the last 30 days. Don't worry, because that's a really good source for what we call a lookalike audience. And a lookalike audience is one that Facebook will match up people similar to those people. So if we know they're interested in our page, if they've engaged, if they've watched a video, we know that they're a good source for a lookalike audience. We'll talk about lookalike audiences. We'll talk about more about videos and the sort of videos you can put out there to build an audience. We'll talk about getting more page engagement on the Algorithm Buster workshop, which of course you will find at spiderworking.com/algorithm buster. It's a 2-hour paid workshop where we'll be going into more detail about this and what you can do organically on Facebook to keep your posts performing. Thank you for joining me today, and hopefully I'll see you next Tuesday.